Haru, a 28-year-old salaryman, drifts through his days consumed by an endless loop of work, drink, and sleep. Life for him feels monotonous and devoid of purpose, an unchanging cycle where even the thought of building a future, let alone a family, seems absurd. He has resigned himself to spending his hard-earned savings on his relatives, believing there is no one else who would rely on him. Yet, everything shifts unexpectedly just weeks ago, when an unforeseen presence disrupts his solitary routine. Returning home late from work one evening, Haru discovers a woman waiting for him. She exudes an unsettling calm as she remarks on his tardiness, stirring an uneasy sensation in him. She introduces herself as Taya, his new girlfriend, but something about her feels off. He offers a brief explanation about missing the train, but his attention is drawn to the dark streaks smeared across her face, streaks that resemble blood. When questioned, she casually attributes it to cooking, her response unsettlingly vague. She directs him to wash up, her demeanor calm but unnervingly detached. As he retreats to the bathroom, Haru is left with a chilling thought. This woman, his so-called girlfriend, may not be human. Taya's presence introduces an eerie rhythm to Haru's otherwise predictable life. At night, he sometimes awakens to find her silently watching over him, her gaze steady and unnerving. When he questions if she is hungry, she dismisses his concern with an air of indifference, as though basic human needs like hunger or sleep hold no relevance to her. These moments deepen his suspicion and add an unspoken tension to their coexistence. At work, Haru's colleagues often pressure him into late-night drinking sessions, a responsibility he feels obligated to fulfill as a senior employee. These nights stretch his patience, but he goes along, returning home to Taya's quiet disapproval. She remarks on the scent of alcohol clinging to him, mixed with traces of other people, women perhaps. Though Haru tries to reassure her of his innocence, there's a sharpness to her observations that feels both possessive and predatory, as if she can sense far more than she lets on. One evening, Haru stops by a pet store after work. He purchases a batch of beetles, a routine that has become second nature. The store clerk curiously asks if he is a breeder, noting how often he buys them. Haru doesn't bother correcting the assumption, keeping his reasons to himself. When he returns home, he finds Taya in the kitchen, preparing dinner with an unsettling precision. Despite cooking regularly, she rarely eats her own meals, an oddity that Haru has come to accept. In a rare moment of affection, he hugs her from behind and presents the beetles he has brought home. Taya's reaction is as peculiar as everything else about her. She calmly notes that beetles are not her preferred snack, but acknowledges his thoughtfulness nonetheless. Without hesitation, she consumes them. The surreal nature of their relationship deepens, blurring the boundaries between what is human and what is not. One night, Haru stirs awake to find Taya rummaging through the kitchen. Her movements are deliberate, almost mechanical, as she searches for something among the clutter. When Haru asks what she is looking for, she mentions dried crickets, her voice carrying the same calm indifference that he has come to expect. He points her to the correct drawer, his grogginess masking the strangeness of the moment. Then, as if to normalize the situation, he casually asks her to pass him the cocoa. Later, they sit together in the living room, watching TV shows. Haru sips his cocoa while Taya merely holds hers, the untouched glass a silent reminder of how different she is. The shared quiet between them feels comforting yet unnervingly distant, as though the warmth of the moment is only for him. One weekend, Haru decides to take Taya fishing, hoping for a rare change of pace. As he casts his line, she sits beside him, observing his actions with a detached curiosity. When she questions if this is how he typically spends his free time, he deflects by asking if she dislikes fish. Her response surprises him. It is not the act of fishing itself that she finds strange, but rather his singular focus on it. Her words linger in his mind, leaving him to wonder what exactly she means by the opposite of him. As Haru reels in his line, Taya warns him to avoid standing too close to the water. Her tone is neutral, but carries an unspoken gravity, as though she senses a danger he cannot see. Eventually, he manages to catch a modestly sized fish. Yet, instead of sharing in his satisfaction, Taya remarks on its size, her bluntness stripping away the moment's joy. Haru soon discovers why she seems unimpressed. She has eaten all the bait before he had the chance to catch anything substantial. Her unapologetic nature both frustrates and amuses him, highlighting the strange, almost surreal dynamic between them. The origins of their meeting, however, are far from amusing. Haru first encountered Taya on a desolate night at a bridge. It was his third time returning to that spot, consumed by thoughts he would rather not acknowledge. Climbing over the railings, he doubted his own resolve, yet his actions were reckless enough to lead to a fall. The icy water below enveloped him, and for a brief moment, he thought it was the end. But then Taya appeared, her silhouette cutting through the darkness as she pulled him to safety. Her strength was otherworldly, and Haru could barely process what had happened before she urged him to leave. He insisted on thanking her, offering his coat against the bitter cold. She accepted without a word, vanishing into the night. The next day, she appeared at his apartment unannounced, her sudden presence shaking the fragile normalcy of his life. In the present, Haru sits quietly on the train, replaying the events of that morning in his mind. An argument had unfolded between him and Taya, though the specifics remain murky, even to him. Her words had carried an unfamiliar sharpness, their usual quiet equilibrium disrupted. By the time he returns home that evening, she offers no sign of lingering resentment. Instead, she sets a meal before him, her tone neutral as she comments that she will consider it, whatever it may be. Her cryptic remark about his preferences leaves Haru confused but deeply unsettled. Without fully understanding why, he finds himself apologizing, the tension easing slightly but leaving an unresolved weight between them. One morning, Haru wakes up feeling feverish and weak, but his sense of responsibility propels him to insist on going to work. He asks Taya to hand him the medication, but she refuses with an unyielding firmness that surprises him. Calmly, she informs him that she has already called in on his behalf, and that he is staying home for the day. The unusual display of authority from her leaves him both irritated and oddly comforted. Later, Haru lies in bed, his body heavy with the weight of his illness. Taya lies beside him, her presence quiet but unshakable, her arm wrapping around his side with a protective intimacy. When Haru shivers and laments about feeling cold, his dramatics peak as he weakly asks her for a pen to draft his will. Taya dismisses his theatrics with a sharpness that cuts through the moment, reminding him that he only has the common flu. Despite her bluntness, there is a tenderness in her refusal to indulge his melodrama. By the next morning, Haru feels rejuvenated. As he greets Taya in the kitchen, the scent of her cooking fills the air, carrying an unexpected warmth. He comments on his miraculous recovery, but becomes puzzled by the presence of some strange, silk-like material clinging to his body. Taya deflects his curiosity with her usual nonchalance, telling him not to worry about it. The mystery lingers, but Haru chooses not to press her further, as if intuitively understanding that her silence is a shield for truths he is not ready to confront. In the days following, Haru notices an unshakable peculiarity in Taya's behavior. She never seems to sleep or even take short naps. Yet when winter arrives, something changes. Taya begins sleeping more, her energy visibly diminished, as though the cold saps her strength. Haru interprets this as proof that even she has limits, though it deepens the enigma of her nature. On one such winter day, Haru takes Taya out, the crisp air biting at their faces as they walk through the snowy streets. He insists they enjoy roasted yams together, calling it a winter tradition. Taya, however, questions the necessity of venturing out when she could easily prepare the same snack at home. He brushes off her practicality, stating there is something special about eating sweet potatoes on the first day of snowfall. Their outing takes a turn when a little girl suddenly collides with Taya, sending her roasted yam flying into the snow. The child, clearly embarrassed, apologizes hastily before scampering off. Taya remains quiet, her gaze lingering on the ruined yam. Sensing her disappointment, Haru offers her his own yam, untouched and still warm. The simple act feels more significant than it should, as though it bridges an unspoken chasm between them. Haru adjusts Taya's scarf gently, his touch lingering as he notices her distant expression. With a slight hesitation, he asks if she is still thinking about the little girl. The question shifts into something deeper, and he asks if she ever envisions having children of their own. Taya's reaction is immediate and heartbreaking. Her usual composure falters as tears well up in her eyes, her voice trembling with an uncharacteristic vulnerability. She confesses that the thought troubles her, not because of the idea of motherhood, but because of what she is. She implores Haru to truly see her, to understand that she is different, that she is a monster. In a moment of raw honesty, Taya reveals her true form. Her features shift, unnatural and alien, but Haru's gaze remains steady. Her fear of rejection looms between them, but he steps closer, undeterred by the revelation. He tells her that he loves her for who she is, his words carrying a conviction that disarms her despair. To him, she is not a monster, and he forbids her from speaking of herself in such a way. The tension breaks as they embrace, the cold winter air melting away in the warmth of their shared connection. Their hug feels like a promise, unspoken but deeply felt, a reassurance that whatever they face, they will face it together. One night, as they lie together in bed, Haru scrolls through his phone, reading an article about deadly black widow spiders. The article details how these spiders feast on their mates, liquefying their prey after mating. Taya, noticing the article, scoffs lightly before teasing Haru. She assures him that he's no spider and therefore safe. However, with a mischievous glint in her eyes, she warns him that if he keeps reading, she might just turn into one. The next day, Haru attempts to cook in the kitchen, but as he handles the knife, he accidentally nicks his finger. Taya, with an almost unsettling calmness, licks his wounded finger, cautioning him not to wash it off just yet. Her strange care feels both intimate and detached, an unsettling blend of tenderness and something else. Later, the couple goes to the cinema. After the movie, Haru asks if she liked it, mentioning his fondness for the villain, Deed 16. Taya, unimpressed, comments that it's just a robot with a bob cut. As they walk home, their evening takes an unexpected turn when a man suddenly approaches them and demands all of Haru's valuables. Haru tries to reason with him, but the assailant isn't interested in dialogue. The situation quickly escalates, and as the man lunges at him, Haru moves swiftly, dodging the punch and managing to knock the attacker down. Taya watches, seemingly unbothered by the dangerous encounter, though she expresses surprise at Haru's quick reflexes. Haru, shaken yet resolute, explains that they were in immediate danger, and his instincts just kicked in. The following day, Haru's workmate inquires about his weekend, and Haru lies, claiming it was awful and that he was mugged, even adding that he squealed like a pig, an exaggeration to cover up the truth. He also asks Taya if it's possible for him to meet her parents, but Taya dismisses the idea, explaining they're difficult to talk to. Haru wonders whether he's being insensitive, unsure of the complex dynamics she shares with her family. He never realized how hard it might be for her to open up about them. When Haru arrives home from work, he is greeted unexpectedly by Taya's mother. She immediately begins inspecting him, noting that while he's a good-looking boy, he could use a shave. Her eyes assess him with an almost clinical detachment, before adding that he also looks like he needs more sleep. Haru remains silent, his gaze fixed on Taya's mother, feeling an unsettling mix of curiosity and caution. She notices his quiet attention, and remarks that he seems to be waiting for her to transform into something. With a knowing smile, she dismisses his unspoken thoughts, assuring him that she isn't what he's expecting. Before leaving for her appointments, Taya's mother gives Haru a cryptic warning, that her daughter chose him, and he'd better keep her happy. Her words hang in the air, heavy with meaning. She then hints that they will meet again soon on a proper occasion, and, with a touch of humor but an unmistakable finality, adds that she expects at least 1 or 2 grandsons before she passes away. As Taya's mother opens the door to leave, a man, presumably Taya's father, appears. He comments on her quick departure, to which she casually responds that since it's Taya, she's confident that she'll be fine with the boy, a subtle warning wrapped in a compliment. Haru, feeling the weight of the unspoken tension, reassures her, but the air remains thick with unvoiced expectations. As Taya's parents leave, Haru, still visibly nervous, tells Taya how abrupt and intimidating the meeting was. Taya, with little concern, merely responds that he was the one who insisted on meeting them. Haru, trying to lighten the mood, mentions that Taya's mother looks great, which earns him a pointed look from Taya, a silent reminder of boundaries he has yet to understand. Later, as they go about their evening, Haru brings up the soap he bought for Taya, noticing it's still unused. He wonders aloud if she doesn't like the scent, but Taya's response is simple yet shocking. She doesn't take baths, leaving Haru speechless, unsure of how to react to this revelation about her peculiar habits. Despite the surprise, the situation takes a strange turn when Taya eventually sits in the bathtub, allowing Haru to scrub her hair. She asks, in a teasing tone, if he's going to join her, but Haru, now caught between confusion and a sense of duty, continues his task without answering. A few days later, Haru finds a jabako placed on an offering table outside. He curiously asks Taya when they got the offering table, and she nonchalantly reveals that it contains oysters and pineapples. Taya insists that her mother must have been involved in the strange offering, though she doesn't explain why. She advises Haru not to eat the oysters, but says he's free to have the pineapples. Haru, still unsure of the odd customs surrounding Taya's family, questions her reasoning, but she remains tight-lipped, leaving him with more questions than answers. Haru finds himself once again at the insect shop, purchasing another batch of creatures for Taya. As he does so, a thought crosses his mind. It feels as though he's constantly buying treats for a pet, not for a person he deeply cares about. The thought leaves him unsettled for a moment. Wanting to make up for this feeling, he decides to search for something nicer, something more meaningful. He wanders through the nearby shops, hoping to find something that will truly convey his affection for her. When his eyes land on a flower shop, a sudden thought stops him. He enters, convinced it's the perfect gesture. Inside, the girl working behind the counter greets him with familiarity. She seems to recognize him instantly, and there's a sense of surprise in her voice. She asks if he's there to buy flowers for someone special, and Haru, caught off guard but not willing to explain, simply replies with a nonchalant yes. The girl then asks how he's been, but Haru, still feeling a subtle tension between them, interrupts, firmly requesting a bouquet. She doesn't press him further but suggests, with a nostalgic tone, that they get coffee together sometime, like they used to. Haru, however, bluntly declines, stating he doesn't want to. With the bouquet in hand, he leaves the shop, a vague unease hanging over him, as if the brief exchange stirred up something long buried. It's clear there's more history between them than Haru is willing to address. Upon returning home, Haru presents the flowers to Taya, his mind still occupied with the encounter. Taya thanks him with a casual smile, asking what the occasion is. Before Haru can respond, she casually begins to nibble on the petals, as if she's treating the bouquet like a snack rather than a thoughtful gesture. Haru watches, momentarily stunned by her unusual response, unsure of how to feel about it. Later that night, the girl from the flower shop lies awake in her bed. She hears a subtle creak, and her body freezes. The sound comes from the shadows. Taya, in her spider form, emerges, her voice cold and menacing. Taya comments on the girl's scent, describing it as pungent, almost too easy to track. The girl sits up, alarmed, and demands to know who she is and what she wants. Taya, with a chilling calmness, states her intent. She's here to make it clear that the girl is to stay away from her man. The girl, clearly taken aback, is confused and defensive. She asks who Taya means, listing off various men, including Haru. Taya, with venom in her words, tells her that her scent is the unmistakable scent of a harlot. She asks what the girl did to Haru, and her tone darkens further. With a piercing gaze, Taya warns the girl that she can see through lies. The girl's heart races, sensing the danger in Taya's words. Taya reveals that Haru had confided in her, telling her about the girl. He had found out that she was involved with another man, and when Haru confronted her, she falsely accused him of abuse, spreading damaging lies that tainted his reputation at work. The girl is horrified as she realizes that Haru has shared everything with Taya, and the truth is now fully exposed. Taya's next words are chilling. She orders the girl to give her the ring finger. Confusion flickers across the girl's face as she hesitates, but before she can protest, Taya injects her blood into the girl's finger. The girl screams in pain, her body jerking as the sensation overwhelms her. Taya's voice is cold and final as she explains what she's done. She tells the girl that if she ever tries to cheat or do anything vile to her partner again, the blood will clot her heart, and she will die. The girl, shaking in fear, is left with no choice but to listen as Taya coldly informs her that the decision is hers. She can either cut off the finger herself or change as a person. The power of Taya's warning hangs in the air, leaving the girl to contemplate the weight of her actions and the terrifying consequences that might follow. After a long day at work, Haru returns home to find Taya sitting on the sofa, quietly reading a book. She seems immersed in the pages, but Haru can't help but feel the weight of the day's events pressing on him. He sits down beside her and shares the news. Akane, the girl from the flower shop, has apologized and retracted her false statements to HR. Haru reflects on the encounter, speculating that Akane must have felt some regret when he saw her the other day. Taya listens, her face unreadable. Though she pretends not to know anything, she simply nods in agreement, offering no further reaction. The quiet moment is interrupted when Taya suddenly declares that she will do Haru's hair. Haru is caught off guard, asking why she would want to do that. Taya's response is nonchalant. She just wants to. He hesitates for a moment but complies, kneeling as instructed. As she begins to work through his hair, Haru can't help but notice how oddly intimate the moment feels. Once she finishes, he asks about the final result, but Taya dismisses it, telling him that the style is not quite right. Without hesitation, she starts rustling through his hair again, redoing it with a playful determination. Another day arrives, and Haru and Taya head out for a shopping trip. After they finish browsing, Haru moves to the cashier while Taya lingers by the plushies. Just as Haru prepares to pay, he turns to see Taya hugging a large plush toy, her face lighting up in delight. Without missing a beat, Haru simply tells the cashier to add the plushie to their purchase, already accustomed to Taya's spontaneous whims. Taya names the plushie Furin, and Haru can't help but smile at how happy she looks holding it. That night, as they settle into bed, Taya curls up with Furin, hugging the plushie tightly. Haru watches her for a moment, her serene expression softening the unease that has been lingering in his chest. He feels a warmth spreading through him as they drift off to sleep, the gentle rhythm of Taya's breathing a comforting reminder that, despite everything, they are still finding their way together. Then a non-human spider-like woman was stitching the mouth of a rabbit doll. Little Taya was outside. She took a stag beetle from a tree trunk and was about to eat it when the spider woman looked for her. Her mother gave Taya the rabbit doll. Taya said the doll was lovely, and she named her Sagi. Sagi was Taya's first friend. Taya's mother asked her if she liked it. Taya said she loved it. After that time, Taya always slept with Sagi. Taya's mother asked how she wanted to do her hair. Taya wanted her hair to be long like her mama. But because it was almost summer, long hair wasn't good for Taya. One night, Taya was looking at the stars in the sky. She said they were so pretty. She asked if she could go there someday. Her mother answered that maybe she could. That night, Taya slept with her mama and Sagi. She asked her mother when she could visit the town. Her mother said that she could go when she could change her form seamlessly. Taya spent day after day with her mother and slept with Sagi at night. Taya asked if humans hate them. Mother said the human didn't hate them. It was just that they were a bit different. One day, Taya told her mother that she saved a human that day. But the human called her a monster and dropped a small pouch. Taya didn't know what that meant. Taya's mother was angry. She told Taya to remember what she said about humans. Taya apologized, but the human was drowning. Right after that moment, they heard the humans' voices from outside. The humans were throwing fire at them. Taya and her mother ran away. Sagi was left behind. Taya didn't understand why it happened, since all she did was save them from drowning. Taya's mother told Taya to go ahead, and to run as far as fast as she could. She said she would be with Taya soon. Her mother was protecting Taya from the humans. She used her threads and faced them. In the end, when she was dying, she told Taya to live. Like a curse, Taya continued to live for centuries. Places to places, seasons to seasons. Until one day she collapsed in a winter. When she opened up her eyes, she saw a man. It was already night. Taya and the man were sitting in front of a fire. The man asked her if she ever got tired of killing. Taya asked him if he wasn't scared of her. Taya thought the man wasn't human, just like her. The man said he used to be one, and he despised humanity. Taya asked the man why he saved her when there was no point. The man said he was tired of the hatred, the senseless deaths he had caused. All those memories of families, he didn't know which was his. He couldn't feel, eat, or love. Maybe he thought he wanted to be like them again. But the very day that hate was gone was probably also the very day he ceased to exist. The man slowly turned into a skeleton while he was answering. In skeleton form, he asked whether Taya had a purpose. She stopped for a second and mentioned eating humans as the answer. The man offered her some bread. Taya accepted and ate it right away. She asked him why he told her all of that. The man said he might want to know how it felt to be a father for once. Taya said fathers didn't talk about killing in front of their kids, nor were they skeletons. Taya was following him around. He told Taya to stop following him as he was getting exorcised that day, and he would not adopt her. But in the end, he adopted her. Taya's current mother asked her father if he would be reading the newspaper all night. He said he doesn't know, while looking at Taya. He then said he would be stocking up on the crickets early tomorrow. Taya went out for a walk. It had been a week since Taya left the house, and her mother was worried. Her father was saying she would be fine when suddenly the phone rang. The mother answered it. She said a few words on the phone. After the call was done, she told Taya's father that Taya just found herself a man. The father only responded that it was good. Taya will be visiting her old folks for 3 days. She kisses Haru's cheek and says goodbye. She is telling him to try not to be lonely. Haru says he will try and asks Taya to tell them that he said hello. Taya has left the house, and there is an incoming call from an unknown number. Haru answers the call, then says he is not taking it because he is retired and done. A man in black suit, named Hasegawa, asked Haru if he had ever thought what he would be like if he wasn't in that job, like having a family and stuff. Haru, who was also in a black suit, said he never thought about that. Hasegawa then said that Haru would probably like that. Haru answered with uncertainty, then said he didn't know for sure. Haru also asked Hasegawa the same question. He said he would love to find someone romantically, like a tall woman with a huge ass. Then they focused on the job. They were about to knock on someone's door who had a big sum of debts and hadn't paid for a year. Hasegawa asked Haru whether they would serve them tea. Haru said that could be if they asked them kindly enough. They knocked on the door. The man inside already knew that it was the collector. He opened the door and asked them what they wanted. He also asked who the other guy was, pointing at Haru, who was in the back. Hasegawa said it was an assurance. The man inside the house told them to wait for him while he got the money. But he actually was holding a gun behind the door. Hasegawa seemed not happy and said that those guys gotta be more tactful with their debts. Then he kicked the man's face together with the door. Both Haru and Hasegawa rushed in, but the other person in the room held the gun towards Haru. They somehow managed to take them down. They collected the only available money there, but it was nowhere near to pay off the debt. Haru told Hasegawa to leave before the cops arrived. They said the big boss was going to be pissed. Haru said that he had been thinking about Hasegawa's statement earlier. Haru said he was tired. Hasegawa asked him if he wanted to go for a drink, but Haru said he had made his decision. He was quitting the job. Hasegawa was stunned. The director said cut. They were done filming the scene. Haru asked if that was good. Hasegawa was coughing because he was smoking for his role and asked for some water. The director put his arm around Haru's shoulder and said that was great. Haru wakes up from his sleep. It is dark and he sees Taya there, hugging the doll he got her. Taya says Haru was talking in his sleep. Haru says he was just dreaming about his old job, and Taya is back early. The light is now on. Taya kisses Haru's cheek and says she misses him. Taya was gone for just 1 day. Then they rewatch the commercial which Haru was in. Haru says he doesn't want to see it, but Taya says he looks cute in that commercial. Haru just got home, and he finds Taya lying on the floor in the dark, with a cup and black liquid around her. Haru is in panic. He holds Taya's face, which is now half in spider form and half human. He asks if she is okay and about what happened. Taya said she collapsed because she thought the coffee was tea. She looks like she is drunk and starts asking if Haru did his hair and telling him he is looking extra good today. Taya asks Haru if he needs help with those boxes he is carrying because they look heavy. Haru says he is fine. Haru says he hopes Taya doesn't mind him asking. Then he asks Taya how heavy she is. Taya says he is rude. Haru feels like he is pretty strong. Then he tries to lift Taya. Taya doesn't move an inch and is still standing on the floor. Seems like Taya is heavy. Haru is sitting on the couch, looking so exhausted. Taya asks him if he is all right. Haru says it's just a tiring day at work. Taya gets him a drink, and he says thank you. Taya kisses him on the forehead and says she is all ears. Haru says the story will just bore Taya. Taya changes her form and starts massaging Haru with some of her hands. Taya is reading a book while Haru is having a hot drink. There is a mark on Taya's forehead that looks like a stretch mark. Haru asks Taya about it. Taya casually says that it may be the time. Then Taya asks Haru if he is okay to sleep on the couch for a while. Haru says it is fine. Taya has been in the room for 2 days. Haru thinks it'll be rude to intrude. That night, Haru is sleeping on the couch. In the dark, Taya is naked and wakes Haru up. She now has long hair. Haru asks Taya where her clothes are, but Taya says it stings to wear clothes at the moment. One morning, Haru is cooking what he thinks is chicken skin. Taya says they are out of chicken. Haru says he found it on the counter and thought Taya was throwing them out. He thought it would be a waste, so he is cooking it. Taya tells him to not eat that, but Haru already had some yesterday. Taya is in shock. Haru thought it was spoiled because of the weird texture, but overall, it was not a problem. Now Haru is lying sick on his bed. He asks Taya to bring him a pen and his will. Taya says he already told him not to eat that. Taya asks Haru to help her cut her hair. Haru asks if Taya is sure because he has no experience. Haru is already holding the scissors. Taya says she trusts him. Taya ends up with a very ugly failed wolf cut emo hair. Haru apologizes. Taya grows back her hair and says it is fine. He can just start over. Taya found a jacket while cleaning. It still looks wearable. She asks Haru if Haru is keeping it. Haru says yes and tells Taya that he stole it from the set when he was still working as a stuntman, when his legs were still intact. Taya asks if he ever thought of going back. Haru says he doesn't think he will. He also thinks that he and Haneda still had bad blood anyway. Haru's phone is ringing. Taya asks whether he is going to answer that. Haru says that he won't. Then suddenly there is someone knocking at the door. Haru opens the door and finds Haneda, the stuntman who acted as Hasegawa, standing there. Haneda greets Haru and says Haru wasn't answering his call anymore, so he popped by. He then sees Taya behind Haru and immediately apologizes for intruding when Haru got a missus. He says he brought his girlfriend too. Someone is waving their hand to say hi, with their ring finger missing. Now the two pairs of couples are having a double date at a cafe. Haneda is telling the story about when he and Haru were stuntmen, like when they ran with eagles and even hawks too. His girlfriend, who is also Haru's ex, tells Taya to try the other cakes too because they're pretty delish. Taya says she's good and too much is toxic for the body. Taya then says that it's a nasty injury Akane has. Akane says she had a freak accident at work. It was so bad that the doctors needed to amputate. Taya tells her to be careful because Crush's appendages also produce toxic blood, which can travel to her kidneys, to the heart, and stop it. Akane feels like her heart hurts. Her eyes are wide open, she's sweating. Haneda asks her if something is wrong. She just says she's going to the restroom. She is trying to calm herself down in front of the sink. When she looks in the mirror, Taya is right behind her, saying she thought they had a deal. Akane calls Taya a lying bitch. She says she honored the deal and even got rid of her finger. She is breathing so hard, and she thinks Taya is doing something to her. Taya says she believes she told her to stay clear from her man. There is no poison. What the girl's feeling is fear. Taya is slowly changing her form, while saying that the ones she implanted in her are ward spiders, entrenched underneath her eye. Akane screams out of fear. There are spiders in her eye. Taya is fully changed into her real form. Her body is as big as the restroom size now. She says she sees through Akane's schemes that she is only using Haneda to get closer to Haru. Taya also knows there are two other men she's frolicking with, and that she is holding the wrong talisman, the Ofuda. Akane is apologizing, and she promises that she won't do it again. Taya's thread cuts through the talisman she dropped, along with Akane's head, hands, and body until they're all dismembered. Akane gasps. Her body is back intact. She is asking what that was. Taya says that would have been her fate if Taya hadn't tampered with it. Akane escapes the restroom while telling Taya to get away from her. She also calls Taya a monster, which only responded as rude by Taya. Haneda is apologizing to Haru. He didn't know that Haru had history with his current girlfriend. When asked why Haru didn't tell him sooner, he just says because Haneda looked happy, so he didn't want to ruin it. Akane is asking Haneda to leave when she gets surprised seeing Taya next to Haru. She is asking why Taya is here when they both were just in the restroom. Taya calls the girl a cheating harlot, but she can only be heard by Akane. Akane suddenly goes crazy, telling Taya to shut up and saying she is not a harlot. She says Taya is the one who's harlot and also a vile monster. Haru is mad. He asks what she means, saying that to Taya. Taya tells Haru to just ignore her because she's probably just under stress after losing her finger. Haneda tells Akane that she is mean. He asks what provoked her to say this. Akane asks Haneda if he heard what Taya called, when suddenly she sees that her finger is back. Haneda says he is sorry to Haru and Taya. He tells Akane to just leave if she wants to, because she is causing a scene there. Haru also apologizes to Haneda about what happened back then. Haneda says all is in the past. They are doing a high five. Akane is lying on the couch, crying and telling the therapist the traumatic experience she has with Taya. The therapist is Taya's father. Akane asks if he is free after this, but he answers coldly that he is married. Akane is now sitting on the train, crying, asking why she is such a horrible person. She says this is the worst week of her life and begs God to take her now. But in a split second she changes and says that she is cute. She won't let this bring her down and that cute girls don't cry. Someone that looks like a muscular guy with blue eyes asks her to keep it down because she is disturbing the peace there. Akane is saying sorry when she gets distracted by the person's eyes that are so blue, so pretty and so bright. The person asks Akane if his condition is a joke to her. She apologizes and says she has never seen a guy with such pretty eyes. The person is confused and asks what guy. She opens her jacket to show what she got under there, and tells Akane that it is very bold of her to assume that she is a guy. They sit next to each other, and Akane says that day is pretty cold. Now Akane is wearing the muscular lady's jacket. Taya is at her parents' house. She brings a hot drink to his father while asking why he fixes them, even though he hates humanity so much. Her father changes to the skeleton form and says since he met Fuka, he started withering more and more every day. He does this to keep his hatred fresh. Haru is there, and he sees the spider mark on the skeleton's head. He asks if it's a spider tattoo and says it is cool. Taya's father continues to say that he doesn't use his talents on petty grievances. He then thanks Haru for the compliment, and also tells that a certain pesky brat etched that into him. Taya's mother is in the background saying no one is helping her in the house. Haru is in the back, offering help to Taya's mother, but she rejects it. Taya's father, already back into human form, is talking to Taya about her endeavors this week. Taya says all she did was discipline a hoe, since she did Haru wrong. Her father says that regardless of what she did, she broke their rule to stay hidden as much as possible, away from humans. He knows Taya loves Haru, and that Haru doesn't mind their origins, but not everyone is going to be as accepting. Taya says she is sorry. Her father tells her to not be sorry, but be better. Don't go around blowing her cover, because he won't be there long. He just wants to see his grandkids before he crumbles to dust. Taya says they are working on it. In the kitchen, Taya's mother is also talking to Haru about the grandkids. She says she cannot bear a child of her own, and Taya is her only daughter. Also, she and Taya's father are not getting younger. The mother thinks they need to do some intervention. Then she gives a bag of candies to Haru, saying that Taya loves munching on candies. The bag has a tape to conceal a word, which Haru asks about. In the car on the way home, Haru says that Taya's parents are so nice even though he was intimidated at first. Taya says they got a bunch of stuff, and asks Haru if her mother gave anything weird. Haru says he doesn't think so, but Taya finds the bag of candies her mother gave Haru earlier. Haru takes it away from Taya, saying that one is for him. Taya says he is so greedy, but Haru says he likes those. Haru's birthday is coming up. Taya is thinking what to give him, but she doesn't know what Haru likes. Suddenly there is a cat meowing to her, and she meows back to it. Suddenly a small, cute human cat with short hair appears and asks Taya if she called her. Taya asks her if the cat is hers. But it seems like the human cat figure is assessing Taya. She says that Taya got the height for it. Then she gives Taya the cat's ears that were on her head, asking Taya to put them on. Taya is now wearing the cat's ears. The human cat says Taya is a natural and she is hired, showing a paper with made hiring written on it. Another cat's ears pop back on her head. Taya thinks if she wants to get Haru a gift, then she has to earn the money herself. She would hate to ask her father for money, so the only way is to do a part-time job. The human cat says they'll provide the costume. Taya is thanking her. She gives back the cat's ears and a bar of chocolate as a gratitude. Taya says not to eat it all at once. The cat human is confused because she can't eat chocolate. Then she realizes that Taya thought she was a kid. Taya is at home, still thinking about what she should get him. She checks Haru's drawers for clues and finds a ring box. She is confused because Haru doesn't wear any ring. Suddenly Haru is back home. Taya is shoving the ring box into her pocket while thinking she should just get Haru a new fishing rod. Haru is in front of his drawers. One of the drawers is out, detached. Taya, in her spider form, asks him if he is looking for something. Haru says he is just cleaning. Taya is back in human form, confessing to Haru that she found a ring box in the drawer yesterday. Haru says that it is actually for Taya. He is keeping it a surprise. But Taya says it is his birthday and not hers. Haru starts telling Taya that ever since that day Taya saved him, his life turned around. He thinks Taya is an amazing person and he cannot express how much he adores her. He may not be the best partner and gives up too easily. Also, he has long lost his dreams. But he promises to make Taya happy the best he could. Haru kneels down on one knee, asking Taya to marry him. Taya says yes, of course. But it is strange to her because she thinks they are already married since Haru has met her parents. They do naughty activities, and also living together. Haru puts the ring on Teia's finger and says what Teia said is true, and this is to make it official. Teia is holding up her hand, staring at the ring on her finger. She says it is beautiful, and she thanks Haru. Teia also has a gift for Haru, but she didn't have enough time to work on it, so she made it herself. It is a mini version of Teia. She wants Haru to have it. Haru thinks the gift is lovely. He is thanking Teia. Teia wishes him a happy birthday, says that she loves him, and they kiss. Haru says he loves her too.